Hello, hi all. So I'm back with another video of Java interview series, and basically today I've taken the question which has been most asked in many of the interviews, whether you are a fresher or experienced. So this is the question. This is a generic question. It's a simple question. You can say it is a theoretical question. Interviewer will not ask much about in the coding perspective, but sometimes they can ask about how you to write the code also with the help of these keywords. So basically the question is that you need to explain the difference between final, finally and finalize in Java. Three terms are there: final, finally and finalize, and all the three are individual, different to each other. They don't have any relation between each other. But sometimes the candidates get confused if you are not aware about, or if you haven't much used these keywords. So they get confused. People get confused in front of the interview, so that's why I've taken this question, and most of you may be aware about this. So just to have a brush up on this, it will be a short video. It will be taken like around I will try to complete this video in less than 10 minutes with a proper answer. So just go on it. And before that, like, if you haven't liked, share and subscribe my channel, please like, share and subscribe my channel. So three things are there: final, finally and finalize. So first things is that final keyword. So basically final keyword is nothing that it is used to declare constant, prevent, method overriding and inheritance. So in final, three uses are there. Like, you can make the variable as final, then second thing, you can make the method as final, then third thing, you can make the class as final. So if you are making the variable as final, so its value cannot be changed, and once you have defined the value like final integer a equals to 10, so that a cannot be changed in further anywhere, because you have made that as a final. You have made that value of that particular a as 10 as a constant, so you cannot change it. So that is the final variable. Then if you are making the final method, so method overriding cannot be done in the final method. Like, suppose subclasses are trying to override that particular method, so that particular method will not be overridden, that particular method has made it final. So that's why overriding is not possible. If you try to do this, so it will give the exception there. Then the third thing is that final class. So final class cannot be inherited. Like, class B was trying to extend class A, but class A is made as final defined. So that's why the advantage is that when you make the custom immutable class, if you haven't watched my custom immutable class video, please go and watch it. That is also an important video or important interview question. So that particular class is made as final, so that other subclasses cannot inherit it. So I've used this final keyword, and this final keyword is have a major role in making the custom immutable class. So final keyword is done. Now the finally block. The second keyword is finally block. So a block in exception handling that always executes regards of exception occurrence, means this finally block will be always be executed. Like, you have a try block, you always have a catch block. So similarly you can have a finally block also, like try catch, then finally you can kept. So finally block will be always be executed whether that exception is being occurred or not occurred. Just remember this thing. And this finally block is optional but commonly used with try catch. So finally block is not a mandatory thing, like always try and you need to write the catch block, but try with finally is also a valid scenario, try with catch is also a valid scenario, but catch with finally is not a valid scenario. Just remember thing. And apart from this, like this finally block, inside this finally block we try to close any db connections, or we try to close any files or sockets, the connection which we need to close it, or which we need to mandatory we need to run that particular code. So that code we keep in the finally block, because we are unsure like whether the exception will occur or not. So that is the finally block, nothing is there. Then apart from this, like the third one is the finalize. So finalize is nothing. Finalize is always a method. Just remember, final is a keyword, finally is a keyword, finally is a block, you can say. Finalize is a method. This keyword is a method, and this method is of object class. And object class is having some certain method like hash code equals, wait, sleep. So similarly finalize is also a method of object class called by garbage collector before object is destroyed. It is used when we want to perform the cleanup activities before object, all the things have been used from the object. Now object is no longer in use, but we want to perform certain activities, like we want to close some file or something we want to close, or like that. So that cleanup activities are performed before removal of the objects by the finalize method. Just remember this. So the syntax is like, suppose protected void finalize, for example I have this, not the exact syntax, not guaranteed to run immediately or at all in some cases. Disadvantage of finalize is that nowadays from Java 9 onwards this finalize method is also deprecated. Just remember this. So now what the user uses, they uses the try with resources is there, or auto closable interface is there. So try with resources is also the important it is a exact same work of finalize, what finalize method do. So try with resources also, you can close the file, you can open the connection, then you can close also with try with resources. This is an advantage of the try with resources block. But like before Java 9 we were using the finalize method, and but for a disadvantage as I mentioned of finalize is that finalize method sometimes runs or sometimes it doesn't run, or when it will be running there is no guarantee about it. So that's why there were some disadvantages. That's why we are using nowadays try with resources in most of the code. So that's it from my side. Like finally, finalize and final is done. Now there's just a key difference chart I've created. That final is keyword to define constant, prevent inheritance or overriding. This final is either it defined constant or it prevents inheritance or overriding. Okay. Then finally is block up for cleanup in exception handling. Like in only always remember this finally block will be try with catch, try catch. Just remember this. That finalize method, it's a method in object class for cleanup before the garbage collector is getting called. Then final is used with variables. Final can be method, final can be classes. But finally will always be used inside try catch along with that. Either try finally, then try, or either try catch or finally. And finalize is a method of object class, so we override the method in a class for cleanup according to our custom requirement. Then final execution is at compile time, restrictions enforced. But finally is runtime always executes after try catch, either after try or either after try catch it will be executed, or sometimes like if try catch exception is not getting occurred, so the finally block will be executed. Just remember this. And it is a runtime. And finalize is runtime called by the garbage collector before destroying object. Final ensures immutability. Yeah, it is like helpful in making the classes immutable, and security purpose also final. Then finally ensures resource release. Like if you want to resource, if you want to close any file or you need to close the DB connection, then you can go with the finally block. And finalize is rarely used in modern Java. Like from Java 9 onwards, as I mentioned, like no, it is deprecated, so it is rarely used in nowadays finalize method. Just remember this. Instead of finalize, we are having the try with resources. So these three things are there, and it is a most asked interview question. And if you haven't watched my this immutable custom immutable class video, please go and watch it. And apart from this, like I have made very useful videos of Java interview questions in my Java interview series. Please go and watch it, and let me know if you have any feedback, any suggestions from your side. And please like, share, and subscribe my channel. That's it from my side. As I mentioned, it will be a short video. So that's it. Bye.